My wife told me to watch the baby and clean up the house, so.
Oh, good. You're awake. Can we go to that matcha place with the line around the block and then go on a hike and then stop by Costco real quick and then visit my grandma and then go to the open house I saw in Zone? And if we have time before dinner, can we look at wedding dresses for my second cousin's boyfriend?
Modern women sure do love to shame their men, and this is exactly why men have stopped dating them. We've got one for you here today from the Modern King. Don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in, and let's get into it.
Partner, not your mom. Your wife is your partner, not your mom. She is not a living maid or a hired cleaning crew, so she shouldn't have to pick up after you.
Yeah, I really don't think women want to start this game. They are not going to enjoy having it flipped on them. Oh, honey, you're feeling sad? You want me to hold you while you cry? Make you feel better just like your dad did when you were a little girl? Well, sorry, I am not your dad. That's not my job. Oh, you want some money? You want to buy yourself something nice? You want to go out in the evening and spend time with your friends and spend some money? Well, what do you think I am? Your dad? You think I'm going to give you an allowance?
You know that wife put her husband up to that humiliating video? There was no need for any of that. She just wanted to jump on the I'm not your mother bandwagon and used him to do it.
That is not my role. There is zero money coming from me. This is just another example of Schrodinger's feminism. Anything that a father might do traditionally to support his daughter, protection, comforting, providing, husbands need to provide that for their wives, and if they don't, they are abusive. But anything that a mother would traditionally do for her son, cooking them meals, doing their laundry, expecting that behavior from your wife, that's exploitation, that's abuse.
The funny thing is, whenever a wife says that she's not her husband's mother and refuses to do things like cooking and cleaning for him, it really makes you wonder what she's actually doing to support the marriage. It sounds like all she really does is complain.
Why do men have this constant fear of being used for money that they don't even have?
Oh, I don't know. Let's take a moment and think about this, though, okay? It might have something to do with the veritable plethora of posts that are out there made by some women that are, one, indicating how exactly you can get more money out of a guy by acting in a certain way, or that a lot of women won't date a man unless he makes a certain amount of money.
And don't forget about how those very same women demand that a man must take her out on an expensive first date to impress her. Modern women made it clear that if a man doesn't make a certain income, then he's effectively worthless.
Or it could also be that there are some women that actually indicate that unless the guy is spoiling them financially, they don't want to be with him. Could it be any of those possibilities? Sure, some guys don't have a lot of money, but a lot of people, especially those that don't have a lot of money, are very protective of the money that they do have. And seeing how many women out there are only after men for what they can get out of them in terms of finances, it does tend to make some men exceptionally more cautious when it comes to dating certain women.
Modern women made it very clear, a man's value only goes so far as his income. It doesn't matter what qualities he has if he doesn't have a bankroll to back it up. This is what women have been telling men, especially through their actions, for a very long time now.
She didn't know it yet, but she's about to have the worst night of her life. You went on a date with a guy you met a few nights before a party. He'd been super charming, the restaurant had a nice vibe, okay. We laughed, we shared stories, alright. Then came to the question, what do you do for work? Uh-oh. You told him the truth, you're on only... Ooh, Houston, we have a problem. His expression shifted instantly, the warmth disappeared. Duh. He pushed his chair back, stood up, and suddenly the room felt painfully quiet. Without a word, he tossed some cash on the table and walked out. In that moment, you felt small, not because of what you do, but because of how quickly he judged you.
Of course, that man was going to judge her. She just told him that she sold her body online to strangers for money. That's not only incredibly unattractive, but it also shows how little she cares about herself or the privacy of the people around her, by the way.
Well, yeah, you're an online prostitute. Buddy saw the missile and dodged it like a pro, and you're over here, and he paid for your meal. Like, he didn't go far enough, in my opinion, honestly. You got it so easy. Maybe you should call your father and apologize.
She said that it was the worst night of her life, and all that happened was that this man lost interest in her the second she told him that she did OF for a living. I mean, like, what a surprise, really.
Telling these dudes If you can't afford the maintenance, don't test drive the car.
Let's check out the facts. 85 rear end collisions, 95 front end collisions, all involving alcohol. You don't need a test drive, you need an interlock device. The intake gets clogged every time it goes out to the bar. It's been in the shop for lower end leaks and makes an annoying noise on the top end constantly. The back seat has blisters and the front seat has cracks. This is not something you finance, boys. This will ruin your credit. What you do with this is you go ahead and you throw $1,000 cash at it because it's got a nice paint job, and you ride that thing till it breaks down on the side of the road and leaves you walking. Have a great day.
Modern women think that they're being clever by comparing themselves to cars. These women are not luxury automobiles, okay? A lot of them are used up cars, and that's putting it lightly. Men don't need to test drive those because they already know they're on the verge of breaking down.
Every day, I leave my sandals right here, and India picks them up and puts them right there for me to clean up the space. But she has, this is what her space looks like. My space, no sandals allowed. India's space.
A woman who does that just wants control over a man's space. That man isn't allowed to have anything for himself unless she allows it. That's why she'll demand his space is immaculate while she feels the need to make her space look like a child lives there.
Girls will get $5,500 each. The blokes will get $69,000 each. Each! How can anyone justify this item?
They can't.
No.
I mean, the gender... I beg your pardon?
I can justify it.
Why?
Well, I tell you what, sport doesn't become interesting because the stars are paid more money. Stars get paid more money because the sport is interesting. Let me ask you this. How many of you guys on the panel know who our Australian Matildas are playing in the quarterfinals?
Don't.
No, because you don't care about it.
People watch sports because they want to watch men in peak physical condition compete, usually in a sport that they like. It's been this way since the dawn of civilization. They don't care about women's sports because it's simply not as interesting or exciting to watch. That's why women get paid less in sports.
All of you can go and watch W League games in the women's competition here, but you don't. Now, when you start to go and watch these women play the wonderful football they do, then they'll earn more money. The Men's World Cup is one of the biggest money spinners on the planet. Women's football, even though at grassroots level it's working really, really well, it's got a long way to go. The other thing, let me ask you this about sports equality. The top 10 fastest men of all time in terms of sprinters are all black. Are you telling me that the white guys should say, hold on, we should be paid just as much as the black guys for sprinting? No, because they're not as fast.
That's one thing that these women will just never understand. They want to watch the best of the best compete, and unfortunately, the best of the best are not women. But that won't stop them from getting angry that the women aren't making as much money as the men who earned it.
What are you going to say about all the TikTok girls that are saying all these mean things about you in my ring?
That it's proving a point that men are the only creatures in this world that get no unconditional love. They're loved only in the condition that they provide something for another person.
That's sad, but I think you might be onto something.
There's really two types of women in this world. The one type that absolutely has to know how much money was spent on her engagement ring. This woman will either know how much you spent because she already had picked out the ring.
It's insane how modern women will judge the quality of a man based purely on how much money he spent on an engagement ring, and they are so bitter that they will just tell the woman to leave that man because he didn't spend enough money.
Or she will find out how much you spent either through blatantly asking you or just knowing the specs on the diamond. The other type of woman just wants meaning behind the ring. This meaning can come from the fact that the ring or the gems are a family heirloom, or through the fact that he finds something that really is fitting to her sense of style. For me, I'm simple. He obviously did a good job. But the thing about this second group of women is that they would say yes to a ring pop. When you get down on one knee, they're not looking at the ring first because they're saying yes to you, not the ring.
How much money a man spends on an engagement ring is nobody's business, but social media has made it socially acceptable for people to pretty much hate on each other simply because some woman that they've never met is getting married and they are not.
Man, I feel lied to by the culture. But I'm going to take full responsibility there, man. I fell for it. I fell for the boss, I could do everything by myself, that hyper independent bull. And I'm 31 now, and I still don't have kids. I still don't have a family. I was focused on trying to get after the bag and all this.
The sad part is that womanism is obviously a lie. Men have been telling women for decades that their choices were going to lead to a life of loneliness and exhaustion, but womanists insisted that men were wrong for virtually no reason, and this is the end result.
Yo, what? I'm in a place now in my life where I'm reevaluating everything. My values, my perspectives, what I really want in the future. And what I really want is a family. I feel like social media or just everything around us, society in general, wants to push that the woman is the future. No, the family is the future.
He wants a family and she's almost 31. The odds of her being able to, number one, find a man, number two, start a family, and number three, move on to the next phase in life is just not realistic. The odds of her being able to do that after decades of a terrible attitude are simply not possible. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out. Click this video that's up on the screen now if you want to see more. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.